settings. All you need to do is just check that you can create and open your files while offline. Okay, so going back. All right, coming over to new. Now, it's also important that in your drive, you should go ahead. Okay, in your drive, you can create your files and organize them accordingly. And so to help you do that, you can go ahead to create a folder. So when you click on new folder, you can give this folder a name. So I'm just going to say, so if I'm a teacher that teaches two subjects, so I can go ahead to name this folder science. So what it means is all my files that is related to science will be stored here. So here you can see science. You can also, let's just say I teach math as well. Here you can go ahead to create another folder. So what this does is it helps me to organize my resources. All right, so going forward, let's take a look at shared with me. So shared with me shows you all the files that you have, somebody has, another teacher or another person has probably shared with you. So there's usually this concern of, oh, this teacher has a drive and has a lot of resources, and possibly maybe the teacher leaves the school, okay, or the teacher doesn't have access to that account anymore, and those files will be lost. No, it will not be lost. Once you have a shared with me file, once a file is shared with another teacher, this is where you can easily get to see all the files that were shared with you. So right here, you can see all the files that were shared with me this week. So pretty much easy for you to gain access to shared files. Then with recent, you can see all the files that you've recently opened. And the good thing is, let's talk about this filter here, type, people, and modified. The good thing with these tabs here is you can easily look for recent files based on whatever file it is, whether it's a document or a spreadsheet, a presentation, a form, photos or images, PDFs, videos, and so on. You can search by type. So this week, I think a lot of presentations were shared with me. And so when I click on presentations here, I can easily just find the file I'm looking for. Going over to people. So you can also search by who shared a file with you. So currently, this account, okay, shared a file with me. And then here, I can easily just get to see what files were shared by that person. You can also search by modified, which file was recently shared with you, but you modified in the last 7 days, 30 days, this year or last year. You can actually do a custom date range based on the date, okay, that the file was shared with you. All right. And then you can clear all. All right, looking at start. Now, usually if you have tons of files in your drive, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming going through all of those files just to look for one of them. So you can easily just start a file, and which will make it easy for you to find it. So I'll show you how to do it. So I'm just going to pick one of my documents here. Okay, and yeah, I'll use this. So to do this, all you need to do is just right click any of the files. So usually start files are those files that maybe you visit it every day or every time, or you want to make it very easy for you to find. So with this, all you need to do is just right click, okay, that file, and then come over to organize. And then here you have add to start. Okay, so let's go take a look at the starred items. All right, so here it is. So when I click on start items, here I can find the file I just recently starred. So start helps you to find your document easily and faster. All right, so here you have spam. Okay, so spam are just maybe documents that possibly you don't have any idea where it's coming from or how it got in here. But one thing is this: files in the spam usually are removed after 30 days. After 30 days, they get deleted. So all you need to do is just take a look at that file. If you think it's something you want to keep, then you might have to move it to your drive. Otherwise, after 30 days, it gets deleted automatically. And then trash, as the name implies, files that you don't need, that you just put in the bin. Once again, after 30 days, files in the trash get deleted. Okay? And then let's take a look at storage. So you can see that my storage space is 15 gig. Okay, and so far I have used 3.8 of that amount. So with storage, you can keep track of how much data, how much space you have used, okay, in your storage space. All right. Okay, so now we're just going to head back to new. We've created a new folder. So now the next one is file upload. Now you can upload files from your computer into your drive so that it can serve as your backup storage, or possibly you want to use it to teach. So by clicking on file upload, you can gain access into your computer, and then you can choose which file you want to upload. You can upload an entire folder as well. Okay, so it depends on how you have stored your files and how you want to bring it on to your Google Drive. Okay, now another thing you can do is to create a Google document right from your drive. You can create a Google document right here, and of course rename it, and then go ahead to type on the document. So this is going to be something we're going to look at in session 2 with regards to creating Google Docs. All right, so another kind of file you can create is Google Sheets. You can go ahead to create Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, and even more. You can go ahead to create Google Drawings, your maps, your sites. So these are other tools and products in the workspace that we're possibly going to look at in the next session. But it is important to note that Google Drive helps you to create and store your work online. And of course, I showed you how to check that you turn on the offline settings so that you can access your work offline. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you regarding Google Drive, I'm going to open a document. All right, so here, let's talk about collaborator. Who is a collaborator? A collaborator is someone you want to have access to your drive, to files in your drive. Okay, so because there will always be a tendency that the teacher will want to share resources with the next teacher, depending on how it works in your school. So to do that, you might want to share this document. It could be a Google Doc, it could be a Google Sheet, it could be what else? Yeah, Google Doc, Google Slides. So here you click on the file, and then you're being asked to add the people or the groups you want to have access to that file. So all you need to do is just type the email address. So the email address I want to add is already here, which is info3mkbconsulting.org. Okay, so all you need to do, okay, so let me just, I remember one. I'm not sure I remember his email address, but anyway, I'll just use what is here to explain. So all you need to do is just type the email address here that you want to have access to that file. And then the next thing you want to do is to choose what kind of access level the person should have. So there are different levels, okay, or permissions. So you could choose that the person should only be able to view So what will happen is this person is only going to view that document and cannot make changes to it. You can choose a commenter. So a commenter is probably you have a document and you just want someone to go through it and leave a comment, okay, as to what he or she thinks about it. Then you would want to choose a commenter to give that person permission to type on your document. Then for editor, it means that, as the name implies, that person can edit, I mean, rephrase everything that you have typed there. If that is what you want on that document, then you can go ahead to make that person an editor. Okay, so you can add expiration. For how long do you want this person to have access to this document? So after that time, then it's going to expire. And then finally, if you no longer want someone to have access to that document, then you can go ahead to remove access. And so whatever permission you choose, once you are done, you click on save. Now, one thing with Drive is it helps with collaboration, which makes it a really, really great product and tool for teachers and students. So I've been talking about teachers. You can also do the same thing, okay, for students. You can share your files, your documents, give different permissions, okay, to your students, and of course, have them access your files in your Drive from anywhere they are in the world and from any device. Okay, so I'm going to stop here now, and that is that for Drive. Please let me know if there are any questions. So if there are questions, please just hold on to it. Probably towards the end of this session, I'm going to be taking them. So we're going to move on to Classroom, Google Classroom. Okay. Just a moment. Okay. All right, so here we are on Google Classroom. All right, so Classroom is just a central place for teaching and learning. It's just like a physical classroom, but this time around, you have it online. Okay, so it's a central place for learning and teaching. And in this module, we're going to take a look at the Google Classroom, how to open Google Classroom. We're going to look at the Google Classroom user interface and also walk you through how to create and manage your classes, and finally, how to give assignments and grading. So with Google Classroom, you can create a class. So a teacher can have multiple classes. You can add co-teachers and students. You can post announcements and updates, create assignments such as quizzes and essays, and of course, view and assess student submission, just like you would do in your regular classroom. And so once again, to gain access to Classroom, to get to Classroom, all you need to do is you always see your Google Apps Launcher here. So by clicking on it, here you can find Classroom. When you click on it, it brings you to your Classroom. Another way to go about it is to type on your browser classroom.google.com. Like I said, if you know the name of the app you want to go to, all you need to do is just type that name.google.com. So for Classroom, it's classroom.google.com. So you can see that I already have two classrooms here. Okay, Falcon class and Eagle class. So in my school, we name our classes based on birds, and that is done because of the characteristics of these birds. Okay, and but whenever you launch your classroom, you're not going to see any classroom. You're just going to see a white space. So the first thing you want to do is to create a class. And to do that, this plus sign up here, okay, gives you two options: to join a class or to create a class. So to join a class option will be used if you have to join another teacher's class. Otherwise, as a teacher, you can go ahead to create a class. And so to create a class, all you need to do is type the name of the class. So it could be your science class. Okay, I'm just going to walk you through the steps on creating your your classroom. Okay, section. So here, section, it could be junior section or the senior class section, whichever is the case. Okay, so here you can go ahead to type science and then room. Here you could use maybe the room if your classes have numbers or blocks or names. You can go ahead to choose that. Of course, that is optional. And then you can go ahead to click on create. All right. So this is what you will see when you create a classroom. And so I'm just going to walk you through the interface as to what you're seeing here. So you can see that you already have a theme here with the science images, everything that just depicts that, oh, this is a science class. Okay, and here you can easily create a Google meeting, okay, and generate a link right from here for students in this class. And this is the class code for this class. So a class code looks typically like this. If anybody needs to join your class, the person will need this code. Or you copy the class invite link. Okay, you copy the link and share it with your students and have them join the class. Or share it with a teacher or with your heads of department, okay, to join the class. Now, this code is very important because without it, they won't be able to join the class. And of course, without this link, they won't be able to join the class. So as a teacher, you should know your class code with which you will use to distribute. Now, let's take a look at these different tabs here. We have stream. So currently, we are on the stream. The stream is the social part of your classroom. So here on the stream, you can go ahead to write announcements. So possibly you can just write something like, welcome to the first term, okay, and possibly just introduce yourself as the teacher and let the children know, the students know what they'll be expecting, okay, in this class. And of course, you might want to ask an open-ended question, and then, yeah, you can add a Google Drive file, you can upload a file, you can add a link, and then you can do some editing to what you have typed, and then you can do three things here. You can choose to post this now, you can choose to schedule it, or save it as a draft. So I'm just going to post it so you can see what it looks like. So here you can see that it's my name, I'm the teacher here, I have written something on it, and here students can add comments, and it just goes on and on and on. It's the social part of your classroom. Now, going over to this tab, which is classwork. So with the classwork, this is where you can create assignments. You can give quiz assignments. You can, okay, give questions. You can share materials. You can reuse a post, or you can just give a topic. But before we look at that, let's look at people and grades, and then we'll come back to classwork. So after creating your class, the next thing you want to do is to populate your class. Okay, so if you have teachers who possibly your teammates, yeah, let's just say your teammates, or you are the head of department and you have other teachers that teach the same subject as you. I don't know how it works for you, but as long as a teacher is related to whatever you're doing, this is where you need to add the teacher. So all you need to do is type the teacher's name or the email. Those are just the two things you need, either the name or the email. Okay, so when you do that, you add that person as a teacher. And then the next thing is to add students. Okay, before you start giving out your assignments, giving out your materials, you want to add students. So once again, there is a link. You can copy this link and share it to the students, or you can just type their email addresses and then invite them, batch invite them. Okay, so there are two ways to go about it. Copy the link, share it with the students, or send or type their email address or their name and invite the students. Okay, so that's for adding teachers and students. The next thing is grades. So here is where you see all the grades that you have awarded your students after they have submitted their work, their classwork. So you see we don't have anything here because it's a new class and nothing has been done here already. All right, so let's go over to classwork. So like I said, with classwork, there are so many types of classwork you can give to your students. So let's start with assignment. Okay, so here, okay, got it. So remember, this is science class. Okay, so let's just say the title of this assignment is about living things. So if I can remember, I know that this topic was something we learned in JS1. Living things and non-living things. Yes. Okay. So let's just say this is the title, and then the instruction. So this is optional actually, but this helps to give clarity to the student as to what they need to do. So for this particular assignment, I want them to watch a video, watch this video. Okay, watch this video and submit your responses. All right. So this can be a typical instruction, okay, although it's optional, but I usually like to give instructions because I have my students come back and be like, oh, I didn't do it because I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. Okay. So after that, you can go ahead to attach the video. Okay. Maybe it's in your drive or you want to get it. Okay. You want to upload it. It's in your drive or you start it. Remember when we talked about start in Google Drive, and here you can see the start document that I have here, or from the shared with me, those files that was shared with me by another person. So you can choose to get it from there, or you create. Okay, you can choose to create a document, a slide. Maybe the video is on a slide. You can choose to create a slide, a sheet, drawings. There's so many things you can create here, or you upload. Okay, so once again, it takes you to your drive and you get to choose the location of that file. Or you can type a link. So what I can easily do is just type a link to the video, a YouTube link to the video, and then click on add link. All right, so after that, let's take a look at the right hand side. Now here you're asked, this assignment is for which class? So you see, I'm already a teacher in 3 classes. So I could choose any of the classes that I want the assignment to be for. So science is already selected and that is okay. Now, another good thing with Google Classroom is you can choose who you want your assignments to go to. Okay, so, in the classroom, you have different types of learners. Okay, there are people that learn by watching videos, there are people that learn by reading or by listening to audio. So since this is a video, and I could go ahead to choose. Now, we're not seeing all the students because I have not added students to this classroom. So I could go ahead to choose just that student that I want to assign this assignment to. Okay, so Google Classroom affords you that chance to do that. Now, points. So point has to do with how many points do you want to award to this assignment. So you can choose 100, you can choose 5 points, 10 points, depending on your grading system in your school. Afterwards, you can go ahead to choose the due date. Like every assignment, there is always a date to submit it. So with due date, you can choose when you want your student to submit the work. So I'm just going to give them 1 week to submit this work. And then you can also choose what time exactly. So if a student misses that exact time, okay, see what will happen. You can choose to close the submission after due date. So once the student misses the date and the time, if I click on this, that student can never submit again. Okay, but if I leave it like this, of course, they can still go ahead to submit it. All right, so now here you can create the topic, and yeah, I'm just going to use this as the topic again. Okay, so we're not done. Okay, now let's take a look at rubric. So rubric, please can you see my rubric screen? I think so.
Yes, we can see it, Victoria.
Okay, great. All right. So rubric helps you to add a criteria that you will use to evaluate your student work, as well as the performance levels and descriptions you want to include. So what does this mean? It means that, so there are times you give assessment to your students and the student is not quite sure what exactly you're looking out for in that assessment. Possibly you're looking out for their spellings, okay, their spellings or how they put together their thoughts. This is what rubric helps you to do. Okay, so let's just say the first criterion you're looking out for is the spelling of the student. Okay, and then you can go ahead to say, okay, and sure. Okay. So ensure that your spellings are correct as this will be used for your assessment. And then you can go ahead to assign points. Okay, depending on whatsoever point you want to give to that. So after that, you can go ahead to save it. Now, once your student opens the assignment, your student gets to see the rubric, okay, and gets to know that, oh, okay, so my teacher is looking out for my spellings. That means I need to pay attention to it while I'm doing this assignment. So once you're done with that, the next thing is to assign. But before you assign, there are 4 things you can do. You can assign this right away. Once I click on assign, it gets posted and all students can get to see it. Or I can choose to schedule. So let's say, for example, this video is to prepare my students for my next class next week. I am teaching on living things and non-living things. I can choose to assign this, schedule this, okay, during the weekend, and then have them look at it during the weekend. And then when we come to class, we talk about it. You can choose to schedule this. Now, I use schedule a lot for my tests. So, or my exams and my tests. When students want to write their test and my exams, let's say next week, I schedule it. Let's take a look at it. So you can schedule by date and exact time. So let's say my exam is for 10 o'clock. What I do is I can choose to schedule this go up at 9:59. So I keep it close to when it's time to start. If I post it earlier, there's a tendency that a child or student can look at it, okay, and get a grasp of what's going to be asked. And then when he or she comes to the exam, acts like, oh, I didn't see anything. Okay, so you can keep this close to that time. So schedule. All right. You can schedule, you can delete, okay, you can save it as a draft. So this is what it looks like when it is posted. So here you can see that it is scheduled for September 22nd, 9:59. So there are so many things you can do. You can go back to edit this. If you think there is something you need to add or make changes to, you can go ahead to do that to this classroom, to this assignment. Okay, so you can choose to create a quiz assignment. So what happens here is automatically a form is created, a Google form is created. So Google Form also is one of those products we're going to look at, which is very helpful in assessment. Okay, so it creates a form, and then yeah, once again, go ahead with your title, instructions, and then go ahead to put all your gradings, your topic, your rubric, and then you can assign. Okay, another classwork you can do is you can create is a question. So you can just ask a simple question, maybe just to get to know how your students are faring with a particular topic that was taught. Okay, so in this case, you might choose to ungrade it because you just want to have their inputs, you just want to hear from them, okay, what they think or where they are at, okay, with a topic that was taught. So that way, you can get to choose whether students can reply to each other. So someone says, "Oh, I really did understand the topic, living things and non-living things." So here, students can reply to each other, and then you can either choose that students can edit the answer. So after they have sent in their answer, they can go back to edit it. Maybe they had a change of mind or something. So once they are done with that, they can go ahead to click on ask. So please, as I'm going through this, I just need you to start thinking creative ways you can use Google Classroom. All right. So you can choose to post a material. So a material here could just be a document. It could be a document, it could be a video. You just want them to look through it. Okay. You just want them to study. It could be your lesson notes or their lesson notes. Okay. Notes they can read through. Okay. You can post any of that and have them read through it. And then the good thing is you can reuse a post. So let's say you taught something in week 2 and you're currently in week 11. And then the topic you want to teach in week 11 is somehow related to the topic you taught in week 2. So you can go ahead to reuse that post. Okay, so all you need to do is choose the class and then choose that particular topic you taught earlier on, and then you can reuse it. Okay, so yeah, here you can choose to just this is what I do for topic. For topic, I don't necessarily use a topic of a subject. So I use topic to organize my assignments. Okay, so I can do this as week 1 and then move what I have here into week 1. Then you can go ahead. I use topic for organization actually. So week 2. So you see, you can move okay up or down, and then it helps you to organize all your resources, your materials in one place. Okay, so that being said, let's take a look at the left-hand side of the Google Classroom user interface. So here you can see home. Home takes you to see an overview of all the classes that you're a teacher. Also, you can see it as a list here. Okay, and then with calendar, okay, calendar helps you to see all your due dates for all the assignments you've created for each classes. So in Eagle, is it Eagle now or Falcon? Yeah, in Falcon class, there is an assignment that is due today. So it just gives you an overview of when your different assignments will be overdue. Okay, so that's what your calendar helps you to do. Nothing really much you can do here. All right. So let's talk about archived classes. Archived classes mean classes that you've deleted. Possibly, oh, you're done with that class or you just don't need it anymore. Then you have to archive the class. Okay, so I don't have any archived class here at this moment, but this is where you get to see all your archived classes. Okay, so now as super users, I also need to say this. It's very important because it's usually one of the troubles we used to face. As super users, there will be several cases of your student or teachers trying to join your class with the wrong account. Okay, please take note. As super users, you're going to face this challenge a lot, and it's important that you know how to tackle it. There are instances where you try to join a class with your computer, and automatically it will try to join with your Gmail account. So, for example, victoria@gmail.com. I'm trying to join this class, and I do not know that I haven't switched my account to fggcbuhari.school.ng. Guess what will happen? I will not be able to join. So I'll show you an instance. I'll give you an instance. So this is the code for this class. I'm going to try to join. Join class. I have a code from another account. It's not FGGC Buhari now. See what's going to happen. SSNIQ2X. Okay, so this code is correct. But then I click on join. Now, what does it say? It says that the code looks correct, but your account cannot access this class. Because I am using the wrong account, I can't use FGC Buhari account to join my school's account. So the next thing you want to do is switch to the correct account for classroom or contact your teacher. So what you need to do is to come over here where you have V, okay, and then switch to another account. Maybe you can add the account. Yes, add the account or switch to another account. Oh, you can't see this top part. So at the very top of my address bar, there's this V. Okay, with V, I can decide to switch to a different profile. Okay, so please keep that into consideration. Okay, so I think that is that for Google Classroom. Once again, if you have questions, all right, so please keep your questions, and we're going to take them towards the end of this session. All right, so that is that about Classroom. We've talked about Google Drive, we've talked about Google Classroom. The next we want to talk about is let's talk about Google Jamboard. Very interesting tool. Okay, okay, just a moment. I'll share it now. Okay, great. All right, Google Jamboard. So I want to liken Google Jamboard as your white screen in class. Just like we used to have Blackboard in those days. Now we have whiteboards that are hanging in classes, and some of these boards are interactive in the sense that you can write on it. So I want you to picture Jamboard as that, but this time online. And so with the Jamboard, you can write and draw using a notepad, or you can use a stylus. So a stylus is like a pen that helps you to write on your Chromebook. Okay, or you could use your touchpad. So with Jamboard, you can search Google and insert images. You can drag and resize text and images. Okay, you can present your jam to a Google Meet video call. So it's a very collaborative tool that helps you to collaborate with your students right there on the meeting, just like we're in a meeting now. And then we're going to look at how to set your Jamboard background. All right, so to get started, once again, I wish we had all the super users on different computers, and then you all had to type. I would have asked if I want to gain access to Jamboard, what should I type in the address bar? Okay, so if you said jamboard.google.com, then you are correct. So to gain access to Jamboard, all you need to do is type jamboard.google.com. That's the first way. Now, another way you can do it is go to your app launcher. Okay, yeah, here. Go to your app launcher and then click on Jamboard. And so when you click on Jamboard, it brings you all the way to Jamboard. So a Jamboard is just a white board that helps with collaboration, brainstorming, especially brainstorming with your students. I'm just going to walk you through the tools that are available here. So with Jam, you have different frames. Okay, you can also liken it to your slides. Yes, but here we call it frames. You can liken it to your slides. Here we have slide one, slide two. Here we have frame one, frame two. Okay, so here you can choose the background. So do you want to have dot background, or do you want to have this that helps with writing? Or do you want this that looks like a graph? This is also your gray graph. Or you want solid colors such as the blue, or you want the black. And of course, you can add a wallpaper, okay, as your background. So let's just say wallpaper. Okay, so you can choose to have this and set it as your frame background. So it depends on what you're looking to do and what you're looking to achieve. All right, so after that, before we talk about clear frame, let's take a look at the tools that are available here for use. So here, sorry, excuse me. So here you have the pen. So you have the pen, the marker, the highlighter, and the brush. Oh, by the way, give me a second. I need to clear this, undo all of this. So Control Z works here. I need a white screen. Okay. So you can see how the different pen works. So here I can go ahead to write. So if this is mathematics, okay, and let's just say I'm trying to explain this math problem to my students. Okay, 6 cancel here, 1, and here 12. They get to see it. Okay, so you can choose any of the pens and the colors depending on what you want. And you have the eraser. So the eraser helps you to erase. So I feel like this takes time. All you need to do is just click on clear frame and everything is gone. Okay, but take note, clear frame clears everything. But if you just want to clean a certain area, you use the eraser. So this is your select. So select helps you to select different items on your Jamboard. Okay, so here you can create different sticky notes. Okay, so let's say we're having a brainstorming session and I asked a question. So your students or yourself as a teacher can type on a sticky note. I'll just type a question. What do you think about animals that have hair on their body? Okay, so this is a brainstorming session. I click on save and I could choose any of the colors. So I could choose to make this bigger. I could choose to rotate this, or I could choose to edit, duplicate, or delete it. So this is a question, and then I can have my students use sticker notes to give me their answers. So here you can draw shapes. Okay, you can choose to draw shapes, more like to point at different things. There are different shapes there you can choose from actually. And then you have the text box. So text box can help me with my title. So let's just say today we're talking about animals in the class. Okay, so text box helps you to type on any part of your frame. Okay, so I'm just going to share with you briefly different JAM activities you can use with your students. Now we've talked about the different tools. I'm going to share tips and different activities. Like I said, you just need to be creative with this. Okay, so let's say, for example, we're having a brain dump. Okay, a brain dump is more like a session where everybody's brainstorming. I just want us to share ideas, okay, in the classroom. So which states are in the southeast? So this is a picture I added from, oh, did I mention? I think I missed this part. You can add images. Yes, I think I missed it. You can add images by uploading from your computer. Okay, you can choose a link. Oh yeah, I could use my webcam, but my webcam is currently being used by Google Meet. Then Google Images, you can search for Google Images, or you can get images from your drive once again. So, but this image here was gotten from Google directly. Okay, so this is just a brain dump activity. Let's say we're talking about this in geography class, and I'm asking which states are in the southeast. Okay, we're learning the different geopolitical regions in Nigeria. So all the students need to do is look at the map, and then use their stickers. So you see where stickers become helpful. Okay, here students just get to type using the stickers, okay, the different states that are in the southeast by looking at the picture. So another activity could be annotation station. Oh, I need to talk about the laser again. So here the laser tool is where, okay, so this works in really a small class. Okay, so possibly maybe I'm a teacher and I just want to say, everybody keep your eye here. This is what I want you to look at. So all it does is it takes you there and disappears. Okay, so let's just say I'm having a class with about 2 to 3 or 5 students, and I'm asking, can you spot the difference? And then, like I said, it's collaborative. Okay, Jam is collaborative. So anything anybody does, you can see it. It is live. I also need to say that it is live. Anything that you're doing on the Jam, it is live. You can share anything on the Jamboard, and your students can also do the same thing, and everything is happening right there. So I can ask a student, what's the first difference do you see with this picture? So the student can go ahead to highlight this using the laser and say, oh, in this picture she's smiling, and in this one she's frowning. Okay, so at least the student knows what it means to smile and what it means to frown, and can, okay, spot that difference. So you can use laser for that.
So Victoria, can you send us the link so that we can jam with you?
Sure, I can. So to get the link, I'll just click on share, copy link. Okay, done. So I'll go back to the meeting link and share it with us in the chat.
But you have to check the access. It says only people in
Oh
FGs
yeah.
they can
Mm.
access it. So
Okay, so people on the call, do they have access to FGGC?
nope.
Okay. So
So
yeah, that is another thing too, like I stated earlier, and you can see that general access are people in FGGC, and you can only view. Okay, so once again, I can choose to change the permission to editor. Okay, so you have cases where you share a link and your student is saying, oh, it's not working, it's not working. So that is something you need to check. So another way you can use Jamboard is the sorting wall. You can have your students sort. Okay, right there, all you need to do is just sit and watch them. You explain what they want, what they need to do. So right here, you're asking them to sort the words based on noun and verb. So see, I'm trying to move this, but it's my Lisa. All I need to do is go back to click on select. So a verb. Sit is a verb. John is a noun. Travel. So all you need to do is just have you see, it's very engaging. Okay, it's very engaging and fun. You can see how your student will be very fast to start okay, sorting all of this. So that's that. Okay, another way to use it is using the sticky graph. So for example, this is a very fun activity. Here I'm asking my students, what kind of pets do you have? Okay, and I'm asking them that use your sticker and write your name on it, and then take your name, place it on top of the pet that you have. So you see Eniolua has a dog, Ayamide has a dog, Prince, same thing. Osinachi, Sarima has a cat, Josephine. So by looking at this, you see how engaging your students become at arranging all of this. And yes, our mathematicians are not left out with the use of the graph. So here you can have your student take a look at your graph, okay, and find the slope. So when they are able to find the slope, once again, they can come here, use the pen. See, every tool here has its unique functions. Come here, use a pen, and then you can have them draw over the graph, thereby indicating. So what this does is, if you notice the number of lines that have gone through a certain point, then this gives you an idea of how much of the students get to understand the topic, okay, and are close to the answer. Okay, so this is a very collaborative and engaging tool that you can use. So this file can be called a jam. Okay, you can call it a jam, but this is a Jamboard. So finally, before we round up, you can choose to rename this. Okay, I saved it as jam activities. I can choose to rename that. I can download this as a PDF. Okay, so as to reference it later on. I can save frame as an image. So each frame here, I can save it as an image, like this we have here now. I can save it as an image. I can choose to remove a frame. I can make a copy and then maybe send feedback to Google or get help as to anything we're not clear about. All right, so we've come to the end of the session, and then we just have 5 minutes to take questions. Of course, remember your share. Okay, you can choose to give whosoever access and have them to work on your jam. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of today's session. Right now, I am going to take a look at. Okay, so I'm going to wait. And
all right.
Thanks
very much, Victoria. That was excellent. Right. Tosin, can you guys please go off mute, please? To check if there are any questions, and then we need to discuss about subsequent training timing. And Tosin, can you guys go off mute, please? Tosin, can you guys go off mute, please? You have two devices on Meet. Can you please mute one of them, please? Tosin, you have two devices there. Could you please mute one of them? Or if it's possible to use only one device, or take the other device to another room if that's possible. Because that's why you're getting that noise. Oh yeah, you have to go off mute. You're still on mute, Tosin.
Okay. Anybody that has any question, they can ask.
Okay, so let me explain first before they ask questions. So today we've only covered. Can you go? Let me mute you, and then there's so much static there. So today we've only covered about 3 products. So drive, Google Classroom, and also Jamboard. So there are lots of other products that we're going to cover. But because of the time, we actually have a dead stop. Victoria has to leave at 4. But I'll stay on till after 4 because I also need to discuss the timing for subsequent training. So what we've only done today is probably about 30% of what we need to do for super users. So we really need to agree today what the timing for subsequent training to finish all the products, also get into Chromebooks training and other stuff that we want to train the super users. So the idea is you guys are the super users. And super users means that you are the guys that we're really going into a lot of details with. We're not going to go into all these details with subsequent sessions with other teachers and students. So we're expecting you guys to be the ones who will be able to support them on the ground if they have any questions. But of course, anything you cannot resolve, you can always let us know. So then can we get into the questions? And then after the questions, I then want to discuss the timing for subsequent training. So Amos, if you can go off mute now.
Okay.
Yes, this is better now. That's excellent. When you want to speak, you actually don't need the speaker. Okay, this is better now.
Okay. Any question?
Yes, this is good now.
You can talk now. I will mute this one. I think that no, we're expecting to exit from here. Any question? Another question. Okay, the man. Abdullah.